The ancient Romans are remembered for their empire, their armies, and their politics. But another mystery lingers in the shadows of history. What did these powerful people do when the battles ended and the speeches were over? Did their diversions resemble ours, or were their pastimes shockingly different? Were the spectacles they created merely entertainment, or did they hold deeper political and cultural purposes? A walk through their games, feasts, and amusements may reveal surprising truths about the very heart of Roman life. To understand what Romans did for fun, it helps to know a little about their world. At its height, the Roman Empire stretched across 3 continents and included tens of millions of people. From the bustling capital of Rome to distant provinces, society was rigidly structured, with emperors, senators, and wealthy elites at the top, and the masses of citizens, laborers, and slaves forming the majority. Daily life could be demanding, especially for the poor, but Romans placed immense value on leisure. Public holidays were frequent, and rulers used free entertainment as a way of securing loyalty from the people. This blend of privilege, spectacle, and social control created an environment where recreation was both a personal pleasure and a political tool. One of the most famous forms of Roman entertainment was the Gladiatorial Games. These matches took place in specially built arenas, most famously the Colosseum in Rome, which could hold more than 50,000 spectators. Gladiators were usually enslaved people, prisoners of war, or criminals, though some volunteered in search of fame. They trained in schools known as ludi, where they mastered the use of weapons and tactics. Fights varied from single combat to massive staged battles that recreated entire wars. Today, historians believe the games were not only violent shows, but also performances filled with ritual and symbolism. They displayed the power of Rome, the authority of the emperor, and the values of strength and endurance. If gladiators thrilled crowds, chariot racing captivated them on an even larger scale. The Circus Maximus, the largest stadium in Rome, could seat upward of 150,000 people, making it one of the grandest sports venues in history. Teams, known by colors like red, blue, green, and white, inspired fierce loyalty from fans, who often rioted when their side lost. Races were fast, dangerous, and chaotic, with crashes causing both spectacular drama and deadly injuries. Evidence tells us that bets were common, fortunes were won or lost, and the energy of the crowd was so intense that emperors used the races to gauge public opinion and maintain popularity. Beyond the roar of the arenas, Romans found relaxation in their bathhouses, known as thermae. These complexes were grand social hubs that often included heated pools, gymnasiums, libraries, and even gardens. Anyone, regardless of social status, could pay a small fee to attend. The daily routine involved moving through rooms of different temperatures, from the warm tepidarium to the hot caldarium and the cold frigidarium. Archaeologists have found intricate mosaics, marble columns, and advanced heating systems that demonstrate the sophistication of these spaces. For Romans, bathing was not just about hygiene, it was a central part of social interaction, business negotiations, and leisure. Romans also enjoyed theater, which offered everything from dramas and comedies to pantomime and musical performances. Unlike the tragedies of ancient Greece, Roman plays often focused on satire, mocking politics and everyday life. Actors were not held in high regard socially, sometimes even condemned, but their performances still drew large audiences. Permanent stone theaters, modeled after Greek designs, were built throughout the empire. Today, historians note that entertainment on stage sometimes pushed boundaries, engaging with themes considered risque or political, providing Romans an outlet to laugh, criticize, or reflect on their society. For the wealthy elite, one of the most extravagant forms of recreation was the Roman banquet. These feasts could last for hours and involved a wide array of foods, from roasted meats to exotic spices and delicacies imported from the edges of the empire. Seating arrangements followed strict rules of status, and dining often took place on couches arranged around low tables. Entertainment accompanied the meals, including musicians, dancers, or recitations of poetry. Written accounts suggest that some banquets became notorious for excess, with hosts using rare and expensive dishes as a way to showcase their wealth and influence. Not all Roman pastimes involved massive crowds or displays of wealth. Evidence tells us that everyday Romans enjoyed simpler diversions too, such as board games and gambling. Archaeologists have discovered game boards etched into stone surfaces, where people played games resembling modern-day checkers or backgammon. Dice, often carved from bone, were popular, though their use sometimes attracted criticism from moralists who viewed gambling as corrupt. Despite disapproval, the appeal of chance and strategy made gaming a regular feature of Roman recreation, bridging social classes in a way that few other pastimes could. Another significant part of Roman fun was the calendar of festivals and public holidays. These events honored gods and goddesses, celebrated military victories, and marked important civic occasions. The Saturnalia, for example, became one of the most famous festivals, during which social norms were relaxed, masters served slaves, and gifts were exchanged. Public parades, sacrifices, and performances often accompanied these celebrations, creating moments when everyday life was transformed into communal revelry. Historians believe festivals reinforced social bonds, connected Romans to their religious traditions, and provided much-needed breaks from the burdens of work and war. Romans also enjoyed spectacles involving animals, which ranged from organized hunts to exotic showcases. In the amphitheaters, wild beasts from across the empire, lions, elephants, bears, and crocodiles, were brought to amaze audiences. Some displays involved trained animals performing tricks, while others featured violent hunts or deadly battles between animals and gladiators. These events highlighted Rome's reach across distant lands, as emperors showcased their ability to capture and control the natural world. Today, evidence of the importing and housing of animals across the empire reflects just how much effort went into creating these spectacles of wonder and terror. Another often overlooked form of Roman leisure was participation in clubs and informal associations. These groups, called collegia, brought together individuals with shared professions, interests, or neighborhood ties. Members met to dine, celebrate festivals, or honor gods, and many clubs even provided funeral benefits for their members. These gatherings gave ordinary Romans a chance to enjoy companionship and shared traditions, making social leisure an essential part of daily life across the empire. The pastimes of the Romans were far more than idle diversions. They ranged from violent spectacles of blood and power to intimate dinners, from dangerous chariot races to quiet board games carved on stone benches. Together, they reflected the values of a society that prized strength, wealth, spectacle, and social connection. Today, historians see in these amusements both the similarities to our modern entertainments and the stark differences that define Rome's distinctive culture. The ways Romans sought fun reveal as much about their power and politics as their temples and laws, reminding us that even in the grandest of empires, the search for enjoyment always lay at the center of human life.